this all of us, yeah? Okay. Good evening, welcome to the planning committee. As always, you know where the fire exits are. I will go straight into 2402. Oh, sorry, do I need to say something about
co-opting?
To do that in a second.
Do that now, yeah.
Okay. Do we need him in the room?
No, we're going to do that at the full meeting, and he's definitely on,
okay.
sort of thing. We're going to temporarily co-opt him.
Okay, so due to people not always being available, we are struggling with the planning committee, so we would like to co-opt Councillor Moore and Councillor Sampson. Okay. Thank you, Robin.
But we need to co-opt Councillor Sampson on for this meeting.
Okay, so we need to co-opt you on for this meeting. Sorry, I didn't realise we weren't quorum until I got here. In my emails. So I'll propose to support that motion. Can I have a second? And then all in favour?
And you know.
Welcome.
Correct.
Welcome. Okay, 24021 is to receive apologies for absence.
We've had apologies from Councillor Hindle-Newman and Councillor Murray.
Okay. 24022. Does anybody have any declarations of interests that they wish to raise?
None, Chair.
None, Chair.
No, fantastic. None from me either. 2423 is the open forum for the public. Do we have any comments to raise? No, thank you very much. 24024 is to approve and sign the minutes of the planning committee meeting of the 12th of December 2023. Did anybody have any issues with the minutes?
None.
Just a couple of typos. Page 2 of the minutes, there's 14th of November, the of is inappropriately superscripted. And on...
It wouldn't let me stop doing that, would it?
And on page 3, I think it is, there's a superfluous R. That's something to do with recommended parking standards R. Didn't you see it? The R is superfluous. Apart from that, no comments.
Can I just say, because you've, is that an amendment, Ash?
Yeah.
You need to initial the amendment according to the interim auditors you've raised.
I'm sorry, I'm not following.
Right. You've asked for the minutes to be amended.
Yes, the
Right.
planning committee.
Yes. For any committee.
Right.
Anybody that makes an amendment now must sign the document to say that they asked for it to be amended.
Right, no problem.
So you don't have to put the amendment to be voted upon?
No.
Okay. Thank you.
So do I have a proposer to support the minutes with the amendments? And do I have a seconder? All in favour?
I'm sorry, I can't vote because I wasn't here.
That's absolutely fine. Okay, we will move on to 24025, which is to consider planning application 234572M, a retrospective application for a summer house that has been completed, 50 Woodlands Road in Hanford. I believe this was actually completed in 2018. So I don't know if anybody has any comments to make regarding this.
I don't know whether we can make comments now because of 2018.
The retrospective comment, the comments for this particular application have effectively closed on the 10th of January, but
Yeah.
as I've learned from previous ones, we are still able to make comments.
I haven't got a comment.
But I don't know, does anybody have anything to say on that one?
I don't, Chair. Oh,
No problem.
Chair, I don't usually like retrospective planning applications for various reasons. But this is a dinky little summer house that's been built 2/3 the way down a very long back garden that dips down into the Dean Valley. It's surrounded by trees and is well removed from neighbouring houses. No comments from the neighbours have been recorded. I would recommend its approval by this council.
All I was going to say is I do not like retrospective planning application, because I don't know why it's arisen, I couldn't find that out.
No.
If people are not following the rules, I think there needs to be some sort of,
I could only assume it's some
but in
neighbour.
this case, I think it's,
It could be a neighbour dispute and they've gone, you know
Who
what, we never
knows?
got planning for that.
But it's difficult to say that they're not following the rules because Cheshire East have allowed this retrospective application to be considered, haven't they?
Yeah.
But I take your point, very much so.
we've had 1 too over the last sort of 12 months, and I find it annoying.
Okay, so are we just going to support the application? Is everybody happy?
Well, I'll propose
You'll
that.
propose it, I'll second it. All in favour? Thank you very much. 24026 is to consider planning application 234729M, a single-storey side and rear extension, raising ridge height, loft conversion with rear dormer and roof alterations to form habitable accommodation and Juliet balcony to rear of 21 Dean Road in Harnport. Comments from yourself? at all?
No, it's in keeping. I think it's in keeping because other people on the road have done not as big a conversion, but similar conversions.
I noticed there was no neighbour comments raised on
no.
that.
The proposed elevated roof line is compatible with the roof lines of the houses on each side. So in that sense, it fits in. And there's no loss of privacy to the rear gardens of the neighbours, as far as I can see.
There's no privacy act now.
No.
You don't have the right to privacy.
But you do, I believe it's on the Cheshire East website.
It isn't. Well,
Loss of privacy.
the loss of privacy, haven't they taken that away?
No.
I think we had this discussion
We did?
last time and it's still on there.
Yeah, but it doesn't, it should be taken down because they've already said that there's no right to privacy now, Cheshire East.
Well, it's still on their website.
Yeah, overlooking loss of privacy is still on their website.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you go by?
Yeah, it's still on there that they should consider it.
Yeah.
Whether they
actually
do is entirely different.
Okay, do you have any further comments on that at all?
I would recommend its approval.
Okay, so we have a proposer to support that. And seconder? And all in favour? (24027) is to consider planning application 234180M, outline planning permission with all matters reserved for a detached house to be built within the curtilage of 5 Pitmere Road, 2.4 metre high hedge to boundary to Pitmere Road to be retained.
I've been and had a look at this, Kerry, and if they want to give up their back garden to put a house in, I can't see none of the neighbours have commented.
No, I know. Did you actually get a notification? Because I didn't see your name.
No, because it's, do you know
Just
where
a bit
it's
too far.
Yeah, it's round the corner by Tarvin Way.
Oh, okay. Fair
You know
enough.
the Ginnell?
Yeah.
There's a Ginnell and it's more or less opposite there, and they're on the corner.
Oh, I see.
So it's got quite a big green, the front garden, the side and the back.
I was pleased to see that they've got like allocated spots for parking.
Yeah. And so,
Which is quite often
Yeah.
not the case.
I mean, to be honest, it's going to be quite a narrow house, but if that's what they want to do with their garden, and it's not impinging on anybody's privacy, and it's not going to be overlooking anywhere else because it's going to be next to the road.
I can't see anything in there that makes it as able to object to it. I just think it's rather strange that you want to have a house in your back garden. That's my only comment, really. Given that outside space is so important these days.
Yeah.
So that was my only comment. I can't see anything else wrong with it.
Councillor Small?
I'm not in favour of it for various reasons. I think it's probably overdevelopment of the site. The entrance for vehicles is not ideal because it's at a T-junction between Whitmere Road and Sandyway Road.
No.
It is. And the applicant does not specify whether this is going to be market value housing or housing available at social rent. So my recommendation is that it be refused. I shan't be voting in favour of its acceptance.
Yes.
I know I should have raised it before, but if they do go ahead with it, it's horrendous, the parking on that corner already. If they're going to have builders and wagons and stuff to build a house, it's going to be horrendous. So it wants some sort of control of the movement of the building vehicles or where they park.
And the thing I would also say is consideration for the neighbours of what time these builders are working.
Yes.
Because builders
That's normal.
start at 7 in the morning and
well,
stuff.
they can do, yeah.
I'd be fuming if it was me. I'd be out there killing them.
Clark, can I just ask, has this come up before and we refused it?
It sounds very similar to something. It just sounds really similar, but I'm struggling. It doesn't.
And I'm thinking, I'm sure, especially with the hedge, because I went round to the house to see where they were about to build, and it's going to be a really narrow house.
Yeah.
And they're giving up all their garden
Let's have a look.
Well,
and the
I
car
thought
parking.
it's bizarre, but there we are.
It is.
It's got to be an objection where it's contravening the planning rules, and Councillor Small has brought up that he believes it's overdevelopment, then that's a consideration, isn't it?
But isn't it only overdevelopment by a developer,
No,
not by a resident?
my understanding is that it means there's just too much there, and given the fact that, you know, there's so many cars and there's so much issue with
Well,
parking
Cheshire
and
East
what
have
have you.
given them
then-
permission.
Sorry,
Cheshire East haven't said, you know, they haven't commented and said you can't do it.
well, they wouldn't until it's been to planning, would
It's
they?
already been,
Oh, has it?
yeah.
No, it's a planning application in progress.
No, it's
No,
not been.
It's not
The
been
office has
agreed.
been out.
Has the officer been out?
Yeah.
Right.
They've not made a decision, have they?
Well,
I'm just pretty sure, because we've objected to applications before for development. One
Yeah.
good example was the house opposite Normanflow.
yeah, I know what you mean.
Grange.
Yes, handful.
And they basically built another house on that, and we
Right,
objected
right.
about that for overdevelopment and where it was in relation to
The road.
additional cars and
Yeah.
the children and stuff, and they still went ahead and did it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not getting a previous one. Sorry. But it feels similar, but
Yeah.
it's not even picking up this application for some reason.
Oh, right,
So,
okay.
You made reference to a previous application. I'm thinking it was at number 17, which is the other end of that block.
That rings a bell.
Yeah,
that rings a bell.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
It's a pity that the new building regulations aren't in place, because that would stop this sort of development. But I see, even though Cheshire East will probably ignore it, if we feel that it's overdevelopment, then we should make that point very clear
Yeah.
as a council, and then it's there in perpetuity.
I agree.
I agree.
Okay.
So should we,
Rec refusal.
request, recommend refusal on the basis of overdevelopment?
I've got the,
Yeah.
yeah.
Could
just a
we,
bit,
could
yeah.
we pop a little bit in there about the building company and
Mhm.
that sort of thing?
Conditions.
You know, conditions that they
If
consider the
if
neighbours
granted,
if
yeah.
granted.
The proposed vehicle entrance is at a T-junction as well.
Mhm.
And I mean, I would have been more sympathetic if the applicant had said, I'm going to put this house up and it will be available for social rent, because that would be in the spirit of what the neighbourhood plan wants. We have a deficiency of properties at social rent, and anyway.
So we propose her to object on the basis of the So, yeah, seconder, all in favour? Okay, 24028, to consider planning application 234227M, a rear and side extension to Primrose Cottage, Blossoms Lane, Woodford. I really don't know why we're discussing this, to be honest. I know it's right there on the border, but I just, personally, I've got an issue with it. It doesn't impact
Me neither.
us. I would propose to support it.
Yeah.
Got a seconder? And all in favour? Thank you. Sorry, did you have any comments to make on that one?
I think the extension seems to blend in well with that beautiful pair of cottages attached to each other. And the proposed extension seems to blend in well with the neighbouring property. Of course, these people are going to have the jolly old garden village built all around them in due course. So, yeah, I recommend approval.
All right, lovely. Thank you very much. 24029 is to consider plan application 234808M, first floor side extension over existing rear single story extension and new gable feature to front bay of dwelling house 41 Grange Way, Hanford. Anybody, any comments to make on that?
No,
I didn't myself personally, it seemed to in keeping.
Yeah, I mean, where they were putting it, it's not going to impact on any neighbours, I don't think. And
There was no neighbour comments or
no,
anything either?
no.
I have nothing to add to that.
No.
Okay, do you have a proposal to support?
3. 3 in fact.
Pick a seconder, and all in favour? Thank you. 240210 is to consider plan and application 240023M, proposed 2-storey side extension to existing residential property along with single-storey extension to primary elevation 40 Marlow Drive in Hanford. Any comments from anybody?
The only thing that I would say is that where the backs onto, I don't think, although the neighbours haven't put it in writing, I do know that they're against it.
We can only go off what's on the
what's on the
application.
application. But it's going to be quite a big extension.
No comments from him, though, is there? So.
But again, if they are against it, they need to lodge their complaint, and it has to have relevance to the land, isn't it?
I know.
So, you know, they need to do it and see what happens, but I can't see anything wrong with it.
I've just written down that there's no loss of privacy to the rear gardens of neighbours. The property's got 2 buildings in its rear garden. No comments from neighbours recorded. I can't see any reason for not approving it.
Okay, do I have a proposer to support? And a seconder? And all in favour? Thank you. 240211 is to consider any other planning application received by the Town Council. Councillor Small has asked for a minute of our time.
We are timing.
You're okay.
Very quickly, Ashley's received a document annotating the changes to the National Planning Policy Framework. It's a document which is difficult, I find it difficult to understand it, but it will be highly relevant to the next neighbourhood plan that this council is asked to construct. Salient points are where a local plan is more than 5 years old and therefore out of date, local planning authorities must continue to prepare a monitoring report, and where there has been significant under-delivery of sites, this should also include a buffer of 20% additional land. Now, Cheshire East Council's local plan is now 14 years old, so it can be considered as out of date. And
isn't that just the problem?
Yeah, so it starts to become a problem. However, one of the other points made is that in the preparation of local plans, the requirement for local authorities to consider releasing land from the green belt to meet housing requirements has been removed, which, from my point of view, I think is a good thing.
Yes, it is a good thing.
But
When are they, that's not law yet, is it?
yes, it is.
Is it?
Yeah, the 19th of December 2023.
Oh, right, okay. Because there's
Um,
more changes, isn't there, coming in?
Yeah.
20, at the end of this year, I think.
In April, we get the 10% increase in biodiversity coming in, even for the kind of minor applications that we've been considering tonight. I had difficulty following all the nuances in this document, so I asked Ashley to forward it to Alan Murdoch, who's the deputy chair of the Neighbourhood Plan Steering Group. I'm hoping that Alan will be able to enlighten me on some of the points that are raised in this
Perhaps
document.
when we've got a comment from Alan, then you can bring it to council next month.
I think that might be a good idea.
Yeah.
It's important to me because I don't really see myself as being in the chair of the next Neighbourhood Plan Steering Group. I think I'll be under the ground by that time.
Councillor Small, please.
Okay, is that everything you need to say?
Yes. That's...
Okay, then, thank you very much. Close of meeting, 7:24.
Ash, I haven't got the agenda for the full council.
Oh, right, can we stop?
That's the money under here.
Everyone
I've got
knocking
mine
it
on there.
You did have it. You did have it. Did it? Somebody stolen it off you.
Not at the meeting.